Whatever the result was, it wasn't a 2-0. So I believe we're going to be something slightly tighter this time than the fairly one-sided games that we saw going on last time in this UK University Team League. It's Durham versus Sheffield on Zelnaga Caverns, and in the top right we have the Durham player called Jen as the Terran player, and at the bottom left we have Sheffield. Seo, I believe that's how you say it, but he's probably going to hate me for saying it that way. And he is the blue Protoss player. Now, PvT is very much more interesting than PvP in my opinion, so should be a pretty good game. Durham, Jen is doing this nice little stacking up the SCVs on the closer patches. You generally see the pros do this. It does give you a small advantage anyway, and it's worth doing if you have the APM for it, really. And just going to turn the unit bars off for you because it kind of clutters it up, but generally best I find to have it on selection. And a pylon scout from the Protoss player. He just wants to be extra safe and maybe get some harass on the barracks when it goes down, which is right there. Probe seems to go straight past the barracks though, and Terran is very much on top of the ball, getting an SCV to scare that probe away. Probe going into the corner. He seems to be very paranoid, Protoss, this one, but could be well founded. Gateway going up at normal time. Pretty standard from both guys. Gas is, yeah, it's on time. Nothing fishy with that gas. Though there's a lot of things you can do with it. I just don't think it's going to be it's not going to be a reactor. It's going to be a tech lab, and it's probably going to be into more order. I don't think it's early enough for that sort of Reaper opening we tend to see. And a nice little probe press going on there. Doesn't do any real damage, but it's generally just quite annoying. And Cybernetics core, no Zealot first. It's still pretty standard. The main first deviation we're going to see from the Protoss is whether he builds a Zealot next or a gas. And Marine comes out for the Terran player, scares his probe away, and we have a tech lab. Now, it's either going to be saving up for Stim, or it's going to be a concussive shell push, which used to be a lot more popular than it kind of is now. We see the pros doing a lot more Marine heavy expanding, other than what they used to do, which was like a concussive shell push. And it is a Reaper scout, but it's slightly later, which isn't such a big deal. You're not trying to do too much damage with the Reaper, you just want a good scout out, you want to check for anything fishy, and if the Protoss is really being really greedy, then you'll get a few free probe kills in. And there's the command center for the Terran player. Interesting enough, Reaper Expand used to be a very popular build in TVZ, especially in Korea, but it seems to have made its way into TVP, interestingly enough. And one gate robo for the Protoss player. The Stalker is going to come up here and take a couple of shots off at the Reaper, only two though, and the Reaper is going to come down here, and there is nothing to protect the Protoss player. He's bringing his Stalker back ASAPly, but the Reaper it got one shot off a probe, didn't get a second, and no kills from that. I think Terran will be rather disappointed with that missed opportunity. Also needlessly losing an SCV to the Zealot in the middle of the map there. It's rather interesting. But Terran is going for the bunker. Interesting that the bunker is at the top of the ramp. In the fast expand, you would kind of expect it to be at the round about here, just to protect that expansion, and you can get that expansion underway a lot quicker. And while I was talking, the Reaper did try and come in for a second attempt at some harass, but the Stalker was waiting for it, so that was shut down fairly easily. And the Observer will soon be in play for Protoss as he puts down a Nexus. So I'd say that was a pretty good read on the aggression of the Terran, which you can kind of take from the fact that he opened Reaper. They're not generally for something that's going to be too aggressive for how much gas they cost. And interestingly, follow up with the Warp Prism, so expansion into harass play from the Sheffield player. Whereas Terran, he's just started Stim, so we're definitely not going to be seeing him push out anytime soon. Protoss leaving a probe here, just to see when the expansion goes up. But the Observer is soon going to be in Terran's base, and see whatever he wants, really. It's probably not worth waiting for a scan here, but you never know.
I'm too late.
Hi. Oh, you're not in the game, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just continue.
Well, I can just watch the stream to catch up.
Yeah, well, it's a bit hard for commentation from the stream. Yeah, there's quite a delay on it.
Yeah, well, I'll just watch it so I know where we are.
Okay. And there's an SCV sitting in the Protoss' line, so now he knows there is an expand gone up for the Protoss player, so he shouldn't be too worried about much. And this is where the difference could be, though. Warp Prism on the right hand side, currently undetected. It's going to pop over here and change its stance, and we're going to see a warp in momentarily from these 4 gateways that the Protoss has. It's just Zealots, just 2, nothing too committal. He leaves the Warp Prism. No, he's moving the Warp Prism again. It looks like he's going to do some harass, and then when this force gets over here, I think he's going to pick them up again. Which is, you know, if your harass gets away unscathed, then it's very cost efficient. And yeah, that was really good by the Protoss player. 2 SCVs coming around the left-hand side of the map. I'm not quite sure what that's for, but we'll just leave it alone. Protoss, in the meanwhile, is going for the 1 Forge, 1 Colossus style of play. It's not too heavily in either direction. I like it. It's a very roundabout way. And Protoss coming in with another Zealot. And this Warp Prism's getting pretty bold, flying towards a huge mass of Marines, and the Warp Prism is gonna get away with 26 health. Wow. That was pretty close, because everyone knows that Warp Prisms are made of paper. Anyway, Colossus started out for the Protoss. It has been grown out. It's a very safe build by the Protoss. I do like it a lot. Not sure if he's going to go into some sort of maybe Phoenix play, but he's going to get some excess in minerals from the production facilities he has at the moment. So we're going to see another deviation from him still, maybe Twilight for Blink, or just see if he's going to go for more gateway units or not. And another Zealot in the natural mineral line, just scaring them off. Not actually, he could have focused down an SCV there, that was a hurt one, but it looks like he just wants to generally be annoying to the Terran player. And whoops, in and picks it up because he sees the Marines and gets out slightly. There's only 40 shields on a Warp Prism, it can't take much damage. And a pylon on the far left hand side as well. It's for some more harass. I believe he's seen these 2 supply depots, so he probably knows that he won't be able to walk straight into that middle line at least. And here we go, here's a second deviation for Protoss. He's getting the second robotics facility, which means he's going extremely heavy Colossus pay, which means you generally need to be careful. But he's doing this because if you can look at the Terran Army's composition, he's extremely Marine heavy. And I'm not sure... he's also seen this Ghost Academy, which gives him a tell that there's not going to be too many Vikings out. So very much approve of the extremely Colossi heavy pay that the Protoss is going for. And a second little push in the corner here, just being quite cheeky, and oh wow, Terran scans, sees the Observer but doesn't kill it. That was a pretty big mistake by Terran. He seems to be falling apart here. There were some Stalkers on the left hand side, killed a supply depot, and that's heavily supply blocked the Terran. He was supply blocked before it happened, and when he's building 1 supply depot, but now actually he needs to start another one. He's only building 1. That will not unsupply block this guy. Yeah, there we go, some more going down. Terran feeling the pain right now from all this harass from the Protoss player. Slightly more committed now, 4 Zealots going in, but you do float a fair amount of minerals when you're going such Colossi high, Colossi tech builds. They did kill 2 SCVs, but this is where the main damage is going to be. But there are reasonable amount of orders here. He's not stimming any of those, so has to be careful. And a beautiful force field going down on that ramp for the Protoss. I really like that harassment play, and he drew the force up the ramp. Terran had to put some units into the medevac, and he is slightly forcing the Protoss back. Oh, he should have got that sentry. That sentry with full energy would have really paid off for the Terran player. But he just seems extremely shaken up from all this harass going on. He's finally building a Viking, but I think this is going to be slightly too late. There's 2 robo facilities worth of Colossus being made, both chronoed out, and he has 3 now. He's just going extremely heavy Colossus play. There's not much more to say, and these medevacs are out of energy, so this Terran has to be really careful. I mean, just stimming again, and these units will be in red health. I mean, that was just a failed attack. I don't really know where he was going to go with it. Here's the stim. He's focusing on a Colossi, and it pulls the Colossi back. All the Terran units die. Great micro by the Protoss player, really teasing the Terran player, forcing him to go after the Colossus, but pulling it back, and the Terran player did not kill much in that battle. Little miss micro here by the Protoss player. These Colossus could be doing a number on these units on the ramp, and good game call by the Terran player. Very decisive victory there for the Protoss player. It's blue. It's Sheffield. They went up.
Now I can finally understand why StarCraft radio wouldn't work if you're commentating matches just with audio.
Yeah.
People are commenting on your use of Colossi instead of Colossi. People have different ways of pronouncing things. Leave them alone.
Can you turn down your microphone a bit, please?
Alright, hang on. I have to go into my settings for that. Comm devices. Levels. How's that?
That's good.
Cool. You got another game yet?
We'll be shoot soon. And Protoss are OP. Cleep says so.
That's what see.
It was a joke, dude.
Yeah, I know, but you get people in the Battle.net forums who are like, "Oh my god, this race is so overpowered." I've played every race. Admittedly, I'm not the best player in the world, so don't quote me on this, but it's just how you deal with it and what player you're against.
Yeah, but it was a joke. Chill out.
I know.
I know. Why are you on the Battle.net forums in the first place?
I get bored. Since I quit WoW a few years ago, you know, I need something to occupy all my time.
Yeah, but you won't get anything from the Battle.net forums. Believe me.
No, I don't. I'll get a couple of laughs. That's good.
Yeah, we'll get the second game pretty shortly. A pretty commanding victory from Sheffield. I really liked the harassment style play that Protoss did. So, okay, got another game.
Camel. Oh, it says you're offline.
Yeah, I had to relog. It was being... it was the wonderfulness that is Battle.net 2.0, you know.
Yes,
Why
and how
would
we
you
all
ever
love that.
want LAN? It's not letting me join the game. Ah, there we go. ZVZ, huh?
Oh, yay! Zerglings and Bailings, my favourite!
What race do you play again?
I play Zerg. I recently switched them after playing Terran, and I tend to just play with a couple of my mates as Protoss.
We're going to pause the game. FYI.
Are we? How come?
Because they didn't want to go.
Okay.
Even though I don't have ref, so I don't think I can pause it.
I don't think I've got ref either.
La 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 la. It's all good.
Well, one of them can pause it. It's all good. Well, no, they seem pretty content.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what they were waiting for. Anyway. Right, okay. You take it away, I'm gonna fix the colours.
Dude, I don't know who's playing, so... Anyway, we have Vega in the red trunks, who's playing Zerg against his opponent Caribi, whichever, in the blue trunks, who's also playing Zerg. Players that have spawned in what I would call medium air and ground distances on
top left
Tower
and top right.
I like being specific, leave me alone. In the top left and top right. Not too much going on. Both players are using their overlords to scout downwards first, so you can expect their drones to scout left and right respectively.
Yeah, the top right player is representing Durham, that's KRB, and they are down 1-0, and top left player is Vega, representing Sheffield. And Sheffield are at 1-0, so it's all to play in this UK University Team League. Thanks for joining us today, and we have a gas going down for the Red Zerg, so looks to be some sort of speed pool opener. What's your favourite build for this matchup then?
This matchup, in my experience, I've just gone 14 pool, 14 gas into speedlings and bailings and rolled up from there, but we can see we have a very fast expand for Carib.
Yeah, it was a 15 hatch, which you know isn't too uncommon in the matchup. To be honest, it's not quite as far behind as you might initially think from the different timings of the pool, and you know it's 300 minerals for a hatchery. You'd think it would be very far behind, but it's not quite that bad. But it should be interesting. Vega's going to have to use the speed to his advantage to do a lot of economy damage. Hopefully, snipe a couple of queens to level the economy off again. But the pressure is definitely on him to do it now.
You should have enough gas just at the oh, yeah, he's got enough gas for speed, and there it goes. It goes down. You can see Vega floating his overlord to Carib space, even though his drone's already scouted, so he wants to keep an eye on what's happening.
Yeah, you have to be careful though, because I mean, fairly soon the queens will be out, and you definitely don't want to get supply blocked on the overlord.
No. Me personally, I tend to build 2 overlords, one for scouting, but the other so I don't get supply blocked.
Yeah, but the question is whether it's 100 minerals you really have. I mean, interestingly, a spine crawler going down. It was a proxy spine crawler for red. It got cancelled straight away though. So we missed that. We
see Carib putting the Zerglings in defensive position. He will be able to stop these 2 Zerglings from having the poke, but they will be able to see this expansion.
Yeah, it's interesting, 2 Zergling versus 2 Zerglings. Red player takes control of the Zerglings and he's now going to group them up. And now it's just a question of time. You know, is he going to go for this front, or is he going to try run by? Speed finishes in 18 seconds, in-game seconds, that is.
We see Carib just starting his speed, but also sticking down a spine crawler on the right-hand side of this expansion, so he will be able to stop any pressure.
Yeah, and Vega is pretty
or at least resistant.
Solidly one base on this. Although I say that and he puts down a second hatchery, but Baneling Nest is soon going to finish for the red player, so he's definitely going to be the aggressor in this one. And going for a little run by, but that was pretty much blocked off. Little Ling was here. He wanted to go for the drones. Spinecrawler gets a nice hit off on the Zerglings, but nothing too serious. I think it's going to live.
Spinecrawler is moving just to the edge of the creep to get that extra piece of range. These Balings are being morphed at the place where the player would take his second expansion, so he's looked like he's going to try and run and do some damage. That Spine Crawler wouldn't be able to do a huge amount of damage to the Bailings, especially if Vega runs Zerglings in first, which he is. The Zergling does see that there are Bailings on the way, but he isn't moving his Zerglings into the correct position, and this could be... Oh, and the Spine Crawler doesn't have enough range. These Bailings will be able to take out all the Zerglings.
Yeah, he just has to be careful not to be too many Zerglings clumped up by the Banelings. Try and focus the Banelings with the Spine Crawler if possible. At this point, Vega doesn't like what he sees and pulls back, but now the Roaches are out, and this is the real problem for the Banelings, because he used the Roaches to snipe the Banelings, and they lose a lot of effectiveness. But Red's going to pull back. He does have his own expansion up, although he is rather behind in the economy. It's 25 Harvesters for the Blue Zerg versus 15 for the Red one. Red's just putting down his Roach now, so we are going to evolve into some kind of Roach heavy play for both sides, but I would not be surprised to see Red trying to go for some economic damage with these early Banelings, because if he gets lucky or if he has a lot of skill, he can really make them count.
I mean, right now, Vega does need to do some economic damage because Carib is getting almost double his mineral income, and Vega is getting no gas whatsoever, so...
The Banelings went into the Roaches and were completely useless. A Ling run by from Vega. This attack hasn't gone too well for him so far, but he is now in the drone line. He cannot focus on the drones though because the Lings were there. The drones are running off, but these Speedlings need to be slightly careful. Some more Roaches picking them off, and Spineclaw are doing another number on them, but generally Blue definitely came out ahead in that situation. But I think Blue seems to have just stopped making Harvesters because for some reason he's only on half the supply of the Red player. But I mean, that's just what you get for Roach heavy play, I guess.
Yeah.
A couple of Roaches getting surrounded outside the base. Picked off fairly nicely.
Zerglings want breakfast.
Oh god. Right. Sorry, keep talking. I need to fix the display at the top. It's the wrong way around.
We see Vega is putting down 2 Spine Crawlers at the entrance to his natural, so he is going to try and hold off this Roach push coming from Carib. Carib is just hanging by the Zelanaga Tower. Vega's Zerglings are running to the line, but the Roaches are just ranging them completely. Vega gets nothing off and loses.
Okay, I'm just going to leave the top because it'll take too long to fix it, and I'll do it in the next one. But just bear in mind, the supplies at the top of the screen are the wrong way around. The Blue Zerg player is 81 supply, and the Red Zerg player is at 39. But we have a little push here into some Spine Crawlers. Blue definitely wants to get aggressive with this very superior Roach count. There's some nice micro against the Zerglings. Cancels that Spine Crawler. Well, it died. Didn't cancel. He didn't get the money back for it. And some cute little micro from the Roaches here.
Transfusion did go down on the Spine Crawler, so Vega does want to keep these alive. Some drones are now in the mix with these Queens. This Spine Crawler is being focused down. He needs to transfuse it if he's going to save it. He loses that Spine Crawler, so there's only one left with these 2 Queens, 2 Roaches. Now 3 Roaches defending it. Carib applying plenty of pressure.
He's losing an Overlord here, and he was already supply blocked, so he needs to
build 2 or 3 he goes down to 84, so
make up for that. But here come the reinforcement Roaches, and Vega does not have a lot to deal with this.
He loses his second Queen. The Spine Crawler is going to be focused down. The Roach count is in favour of Carib, and he is singling down these Roaches. Another Queen goes down for Vega, and Carib pulls back, doing the damage he wants to do. More reinforcements are coming in, and it's pretty much back and through.
Yeah, I like that he's not completely overcommitting to this. He's playing it smart. The drones get pulled. He knows he'll just lose his army if the drones get pulled, and they fight with the main army. But here come the reinforcements. This is his opportunity to snipe a few drones. Gets 2 in that little pullback. But here's the big difference. Red has to reinforcement Zerglings because his economy is a bit slower. But Blue has definitely got a superior Roach count. The question is, how good is Roaching against Roaches? It is slightly superior, but with micro, not so much. But here come the drones again. If the drones are actually fighting this battle, it would definitely go in Red's favour. They're not losing too much economy.
But, he did use the Zerglings to buffer the attack from the Roaches, and Vega is trying to single down these Roaches, get them to low health, trying to fend off this attack, continually bringing in Zerglings to keep trying and buffering those attacks from the Roaches. And again, Carib is continuing with this pressure, not giving Vega any time to recover from this at all. The roach count is firmly in favour. More drones are being pulled off the line to buffer these attacks, but the roaches are caught out in front. Huge amount of roaches for Carib, and he's just ranging and microing very well, getting rid of these drones and not taking too much damage in the meantime. And it's now just roaches for both players, with Carib having the advantage.
Yeah, nice little play from Blue there. He kited away. The drones count is definitely waning for the red player. If we look at the economy now, it's 38 drones for the blue Zerg and only 15 drones for the red Zerg, so now it's only a matter of time. He just needs to be careful with his army, make sure he doesn't lose his whole army, but here comes the massive waves of reinforcements for the blue player, and red needs to have a miracle to really pull this game off, I'd feel.
And behind all this pressure, Carib has gotten Lair Tech, and he has thrown his second expansion, third base down, so he isn't assuming that this pressure will consistently work and he will win from it. We see a Spine Crawler going down for Vega 2 now, in the original positions that they were, and he is trying to get the roach advantage now.
Who is Vega or Carib?
Vega.
Yeah, I don't think he can though. He knows he's in pretty dire shape. He's putting down the Spine Crawlers, hopefully with some bad positioning by the blue player. He thinks he can get back into it, but this is where we're going to find out whether that's the case or not. KRB's moving up, going to snipe the Spine Crawler free, and then here comes the big battle with a Superior Concave for the red player, so blue backs off.
Right now, Vega needs to try and tech into something else. I mean, even if he just threw down a Spire and got one or two Mutalisks out to start driving Carib around the block, that would give him some breathing room. But right now, this trying to battle roaches versus roaches, Vega is definitely on the back foot, so he needs to switch into something else, otherwise he's going to lose this.
Yeah, but KRB is just taking it cool and collectively. He's put down the Infestation Pit. Infestors against roaches, very, very strong since the last patch. I believe a fungal growth does a third of the health of a roach.
You see, an Overseer has finished for Carib, so he's probably going to either put Contaminate down or drop a Changeling in to get scouting information. Looks like he is just going to fly without scouting. The Queen is just doing consistent damage to it, and if he's not careful, he may lose it. But there is no Queen at the main of Vega, having lost 2 earlier to the Roach push, and he's only now just replacing it.
Yeah, he just needs to make sure there's nothing fishy going on. He doesn't want to be really surprised by any sort of mute attack, even though that's not really the best option for blue. It's still a possibility. Infestation Pit has finished, and pretty soon we should be seeing some infestors coming out with some fungal growths, and I believe that's going to be the side of this battle. Witt's tech isn't going too far. He's generally just been trying to drone and catch up, but we can see the supplies on the top right. Blue is on 142 and red is on 73. Actually, I'll take the supplies at the top thing off. Just because
we also look at the army and worker supply. Carib has around a 50 army supply and a 16 worker supply, so he's definitely going to win this, unless Vega can pull up some excellent harassment or excellent play. Right now, he doesn't have the forces or unit composition he needs to beat what Carib has. I mean, Carib is morphing in Balings now. He has 1/1 roaches, and Vega is just sitting behind his 3 spine crawlers with his roaches, and those Balings are just going to run straight into those spine crawlers, take them out, and the roaches will mop up. Oh, we see an Overlord drop. Ooh, this is going to be nasty.
Where?
Vega's natural, and 2 Overlords have split up. Oh, and he absolutely devastates that natural line, and Vega has no decent anti-air. 2 Overlords have been waypointed to Vega's main. He needs to pull those drones away as soon as he gets vision of those Overlords, otherwise his economy is going to be devastated beyond recovery. He's already 1 base behind. The Overlord, there is nothing to stop these Overlords. The drones aren't being moved. Balings are being dropped in, and everything just melts.
Yeah, nice little cutesy play by KRB there. He's definitely in a commanding position here. Vega really has no option but to push out, but no, he just calls the GG. He realises how far behind he is in tech, and endurance, and equals good game well played. And Durham take that game, so it's 1-1. I believe. But yeah, apologies for the overlay at the top. It was the wrong way around because they didn't tell me they were the wrong colours at the start of the game. But what can you do?
You can be better.
We'll be getting the next games up shortly.
Oh, who wants me on Skype?
Apparently the overlay wasn't showing up. Why is this not showing up?
Break it.
No, it's weird.
Use an exploit.
No, I'm using a custom exe to put the overlay on.
Fair enough.
Oh, still not showing up. Wow. We'll just have to go without then for this one, and use it in the next. Use a different overlay next time.
People are just commenting on how my suggestion of Vega using mutas just to throw Carib around the map is pretty pointless.
Yeah, Red was just in a lot of trouble there from the start.
Yeah.
He couldn't go mutas. I was just, the
Economy.
Overseer was probably just to check for anything particularly interesting. Like,
Yeah.
he was checking for the lair, he was checking for burrow, he was checking for infestors. He didn't really know for sure how badly Red's economy was, but it was pretty bad.
I mean, near the end, Vega was getting an expansion in the bottom left of the map, but it was a bit too late.
Yeah, well, he was just so far behind on drones.
In all honesty, I expected a lot more Zergling and Bathing play than what was there. Ooh, you got another one?
Yep.
Metalopolis. Ooh, we have a ZVT.
Yeah. So it's 1-1. It's pretty good. I said at the start, last time Durham didn't lose 0-2, but I think they lost 1-2, which is good. It's always good to see them going to a fairly even game. TVZ for the first one. And we're going to have Sheffield in the red and Durham in the purple this time. I've been running an overlay that apparently the stream can't see, which is slightly annoying, but what can you do?
Hence the Terran is in... Oh, god damn it. Is he in Masters or Diamond? I think he's in Diamond. Let me just check. Ugh.
Yeah, do you want to check both their leagues?
Yeah, I'm just doing that now. Hence the Terran is in Diamond. Whereas what was that? Infinoco?
Yeah, we'll easy see him.
Yeah. He's playing Zerg. And he is in, as soon as Battle.net decides to load.
Okay, well I'm going to go because they're ready.
He is in Masters.
So what was the other one? They're both Masters.
No, Hanks the Terran is in Diamond. and Inferno is in Masters.
Okay. So Masters versus Diamond, not too far difference, but well, it depends. Masters can go quite high.
Yeah. Also depends on the positioning.
Yeah.
Is this best of 3, by the way?
Yep. It's 1-1.
Yeah. Thought so.
See who's faster computers, Zerg or Terran players.
And it's a Terran.
Terran imbalance.
Pretty
And
close.
okay, here we go. We are on close positions on Metalopolis. We have at the top position we have the Sheffield player, Inferno. He is the Masters Zerg player. And on the left position we have Hanks, who is the Durham representative. He's the purple Terran player, and he is Diamond. So, close positions, TVZ. This is GSL Metalopolis, it's not MLG in Metalopolis, so I believe this just means they did something with the ramp. They haven't put a doodad there, so it is possible to wall on the ramp like last time. This was just the map before Blizz changed the ramps, I believe, to be able to wall in with, say, 2 pylons. There, GSL did it first, and then Blizzard kind of followed suit. But can still spawn close positions, so Zerg is not going to be happy with his positions. But Zerg is the Masters player, Terran is the Diamond player. Zerg will definitely have a lot of experience with close positions on Metalopolis, because I don't think I know a Zerg that votes it down.
No, it's typically a good map for Zerg because they have plenty of manoeuvring room. I mean, aside from the parts of the main road, which are fairly choked, they have a lot of areas where they can get surrounds.
Zerg gets his 15 hatch now straight away, which is, I
Hanks
kind of feel the
spots
Terran
it.
should have been on board with that a bit more. But
Yeah.
maybe he just wants a 15 Nexus so he can do this, which is a 2x. Second Rex was slightly delayed. I would have liked it a little bit earlier. It was on 15 rather than 14. But what can you do? He didn't see the 15 hatch straight away. Maybe he thought he could block it. But we're going to see the 2 racks anyway, and it's going to be a question of how Zerg deals with this. There is no gas up yet, so he's not going to be going straight for speedlings. Maybe there's the gas going down now. But I think we might probably going to see a spine crawler going down as soon as the hatchery finishes, just to be prepared. And problem for the Zerg actually is his drone is just coming into the Terran space, and this Marine is going to pop out and going to be able to deny this scout with some micro, but it wasn't micro, so just scratch all that. Just ignore everything I said.
Inferno just seeing everything, realising there's only 2 racks, just pumping out Marines with no add-ons, so he should expect pressure. I'd be expecting Hanks to do some bunker play at the minute.
It's possible, but he's not pulling SCVs enough for the bunker play. Maybe he's waiting for a couple more Marines. Maybe he just doesn't want to feel like he's overcommitting with this. Maybe he just feels he has the advantage of being in close positions. I mean, some people just do this just to make sure the Zerg overreacts. And like this,
Hanks is a
with
bit
the drones,
slow.
this is quite a lot of mining time, and snipes the SCV handily. That was a pretty big mistake by the Terran player. Seems like he just wants to go with the Marine play, but no bunkers, which I'm not too sure about, generally because the spine crawler is over halfway done.
I mean, these Zerglings should stay on creep and be able to fend off these Marines fairly easily. I mean, the spine crawl is almost done, and Hanks, does he see it? Yes, he does, so he pulls back.
Yeah, speed has been started for Zerg, so it's just only a matter of time for this window for Terran to do any pressure. He seems to be losing it pretty bad. I mean, I think we're actually going to see an expand from him soon, because he's currently on 3 racks actually, so maybe not an expand unless he wants to do a slightly late expand, but in any case he's pretty much floating 300 minerals now, and he did have to do a extra special supply depot because he got fairly badly supply blocked, and
if Hanks isn't careful, these Zerglings would be able to go past, but no, Zerglings are going to see if there's anything at the natural, or not.
Yeah, you can't really go past against Marines unless there's speed.
Yeah.
And even then you're guaranteed to lose your Zerglings, so you have to rebuild them. It's kind of like, do I want to slow down his econ slightly, because remember the Terran has mules, or do I want to just sit back and like remain threat and deny his scouting, retaining map control, which is pretty surprising on these close positions. But I think Zerg has a good idea of what he wants to do. I think he's quite happy that there wasn't a bunker play at the start, and he's able to drone up a fair amount and really do what he wants to do in this game.
I'm surprised no Bailing Nest has been put down for Inferno, because he's seen that he only, well, his last scouting information that was he only has 2 racks, and the only force composition he's seen from Hanks is barracks units, so Bailings could do a lot of damage, but he hasn't clicked on that.
Well, he's going to be relieved now because there's an Overlord floating in the bottom right hand side of the base, and he's going to see the command center, so he knows there's nothing too fatal coming in, definitely no real strong tech like Blue Flame Hellions or Banshees, and I think he's going to be quite happy now. Based on what he sees with his Overlord, we're going to see either switch to Bailings or Mutas. And
tries to run the Zerglings in as the Overlord provides an extraction, but he is supply blocked. He is only now just getting an Overlord, so his production will be slowed significantly. And yeah,
he can just sit on what he's got though. Really, he's going Lair. I kind of hope he doesn't go Mutas, because going Mutas is the kind of thing where as soon as Terran sees the Mutas, he's just going to push out.
We see a factory going down for Hanks, so we could see some Hellion play, or possibly him just going into Siege.
Yeah, it could be Siege Tech, but we have full Geysers being used by
Oh,
the Zerg player.
Inferno may be able to pick off this Hellion, only loses a Zergling in the process. So 25 minerals for 100 minerals and 25 gas, that's a pretty good trade.
Zerg just put down the Baneling Nest. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, as soon as this Baneling Nest finishes, to see speed going up as soon as possible. Because he can't really take a third unless it's a hidden one at the bottom right, and that's still very vulnerable against sort of Terran dropship play. So I think we're going to see a very 2-basey tech from the Zerg player. He knows that Terran wants to expand, you see, so he's probably going to try and bust it when it happens with lots of Banelings, lots of Zerglings, and I think he's going to be pretty confident in this, being a Masters player against the Zerg player.
We do see Banelings being morphed. I honestly don't like how Inferno's using his Overlords. He's just clumping them up where it's waypointed that natural. He isn't spreading them across the map or behind his natural or main to get vision. So if a drop came from any direction, he would be fairly clueless until it's right on top of him.
Well, I don't think he expects the game to go to drops, because he went in with his Overlord and didn't see too much tech, definitely didn't see a starport, and here we go with the Marines pushing in front.
These Zerglings are providing distraction, but the Marines have stimmed away. These Zerglings are just chasing them, trying to get a Stroud, trying to stop, but Inferno pulls back.
Now the crucial thing about that was the stim on these Marines. These Marines are now on 30 out of 45 health, and there's no starport to be seen. He's just gone 2 factory tank play. Starport is just going down, so these medevacs are a long way away.
He is expanding now with an orbital, which has almost 100 energy. We see a Spire going down for Inferno, so he's either looking for Utilists.
Yeah. He's
got
no reason to go to Corruptors or Broodlords. Broodlords definitely come too late for this kind of thing. Anyway, here comes the Baneling speed finishing, and question is how aggressive Zerg wants to be with these Banelings he has here.
I feel that Inferno does need to get an Overlord or something in the base of Hanks. Currently, he just has no idea that the factories are there or the starport is there. Hanks has only revealed that he's gone barracks heavy units.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's not going to be like any sort of tech lab stuff that he has to worry about, like from the starport. Going tanks is going to be pretty much standard. Hanks saw the Banelings, and Zerg knows that the Terran saw the Baneling Nest, so he's probably going to be reacting with some sort of mech play. But the question is how. I mean, Zerg has gone to take a third, but it's really not a secure one at all. He does have 2 evolution chambers up, but he's not using them at all. He's pretty much gas starved at this point. And Zerg is going for the Mutas, and Terran is going for an armory, which I would assume is Thor.
So he is expecting those Mutalisks, especially since he has a missile turret gone up his mineral line, and he has a missile turret gone up at the edge of his production buildings. No missile turrets for the expansion, but he doesn't really need to worry about that because the Marines are there and they do have stim. So as soon as those Mutalisks are seen, he should be able to deal with them rather rapidly. He does have 10 Mutalisks on the field, and the Marine by the Zelnaga Tower does spot them. So this could be fairly dangerous for Hanks.
Some nice little harass here, taking out the SCVs doing those buildings, shutting them down just for a little bit, making sure they're delayed.
Oh, he could take out this tank for free if he's micros very well, and he does. Marines are now pouring in, so Inferno does need to pull back before he loses any of his Mutalisks, because he can't afford to at this time. He has delayed those 2 other barracks and denied the tank.
And a reactor, which is very expensive and takes a long time.
Did he? Yes, he did. I missed that. Creep is now being spread all across the map, straight to Hanks's base. So, and do these have centrifugal hooks? I think they do.
Well, the Banelings.
Yes, they do. They have centrifugal hooks, so they'll be able to roll fairly quickly into the line. But with these siege tanks there, I'm not sure they'll be able to do that much damage.
Yeah, the question is going to come down to how the Terran uses this nice little cliff that he has going all the way to the Zerg's base.
Mutas are doing a bit of poke around, but Hanks has positioned his missile turrets in a really good position. Another command center is going down to heat, so he will be expanding either to the second expansion or even to the gold possibly, which could be risky.
Terran is mining out in the main though, so he does need to do something. This third did get delayed by some pretty good meter harass, I'd have to say, by a Zerg player. He's killed about 4 building SCVs now while they were building, and Terran isn't responding to it that quickly.
Reactor is just going down. First Thought is out on the field, but at the minute he is supply capped, so his reduction has slowed significantly.
Yep, infestation pit going down for the Zerg player, very nice. He's going to... infested player on Marines is extremely strong now. Does so much damage.
I mean, Neural Parasite as well. If Inferno gets his infestors into a really sweet spot... Oh, one Mutalisk being picked off for free. But if Inferno does get his infestors into the right spot, he would be able to Neural Parasite a Thor or a Siege Tank or 2 and do some damage to this ball. And Neural Parasite units have to be manually targeted, so if Hanks doesn't click to that quick enough, if it is ever used, then it could be devastating.
Yeah, you just got to be really careful, because Neural Parasiting a tank, you generally...
could lose the infestor.
Yeah,
we see
getting
the
into the
creep
range
spread.
of tanks, and tanks kill infestors really quickly. Some nice little creep stopping by the Terran player. It's not going to be too detrimental to the Zerg player. He was going to, he was going to lose it anyway. Zerg player, interestingly enough, is going to max out fairly soon. In the mid game, Terran definitely had the bigger supply, but Zerg, I think he's stopped producing drones now, or at least he should soon. He's at 87, and Terran is at 61.
Behind this, he is double expanding, so he's taking advantage of the passive time Hanks is giving him to expand to more bases. Hasn't gone to the goal, which is pretty good. He's only stuck to the outer edges, so unless Hanks deliberately thinks something's up and scouts out there, he won't see them until the very end.
Yeah, I know a Grandmaster Zerg that does that a lot in both matchups, like ZVP and ZVT. Like, once you start to max out, or at least your 4th and 5th pages, you just put them down. You don't necessarily have to think about them too much. They're just something there, even if they're just a distraction. Anyway, here comes the crucial push by Terran.
Mutalisks do spot it, and they are going to pull back.
Tank's going to siege up just in time for the range. Zerg is slightly ready. Here comes the massive push. Loads of Banelings.
Banelings are rolling in.
Mutas
They're not doing enough damage. Oh. Those Banelings haven't done anywhere near the damage he was looking for. This huge Marine ball hasn't suffered that much damage aside from the stim. Thor has been picked off, but Serval and Mutalisks infestors are now out there trying to do enough fungal growth as they can. Siege Tankers at half health.
The Zerg is in a lot of trouble here. He's remaking so many Zerglings, and these great fungals are probably actually going to keep him in the game. The Terran Marines are stint, and there's no medevacs to keep them alive, so reinforcement Zerglings are actually going to clean this up after what initially looked like a very failed battle for the Zerg player. And after that encounter, we can see Zerg at 134 supply, and Terran at 90, but most of Zerg's supply at this point, his army especially, is Zerglings, but he has the economy to turn them into Banelings and really do some damage back on the Terran player, who is mined out in his main and just on one base right now.
I'm surprised he didn't use that time to expand behind it. Although that push failed, I would have expected that because he is heavily oversaturated. That is natural. These SVs are just scrambling over each other.
Yeah, but the problem is, where can he go? I mean, if he flew his barracks down to the bottom position, which is where he's actually expanding now, the problem is he doesn't have air superiority. The Zerg had mutas out at the time. But anyway, here comes the second push from the Terran. I'm surprised he's not actually pulling SCVs here, because he's practically all in. He's nearly mined out. Terran's in a slightly better position. Only one Thor, but it's just Zerglings, and there's no Banelings actually, it's just Zerglings.
These Zerglings will be able to... Oh, Siege Tanks doing massive amounts of damage, doing friendly on fire each other, just completely wiped out those Zerglings. Only a handful left. Excellent fungal growth has gone down, and Hex gives up.
Sheffield winning over Durham 2-1. Congrats to them. In what was a very, I was quite impressed by Zerg's play. He didn't let